This OP says, nice girl left out the fact that she has genital herpes until after we did it, and I found out myself, and I asked her about it. Bro.
No, I didn't get herpes, I just had a cold sore.
Hello friends, welcome back to ReddX, trace amounts of science. Today we're getting back into r/NiceGirls because, I don't know, we did Nice Guys and it kind of popped off. It's just a good thing to try and keep in the mix, so I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get on into this thing. This OP says, I met a nice girl on Hinge and she took the bait. Green flags I look out for, no feminine men. I don't want you. Giant green flag, says OP. You are matched with her, right? Nobody wants those females. Ha ha ha. And OP says exactly, ha ha. So, what are you looking for in a man? That he provides for me fully. It's really telling that that's the first thing out of your mouth. You're the laziest type of bitch, ain't you? OP says, I love that. So, what can someone expect in return? And she says, loyalty plus my availability and me taking someone serious. Otherwise, no. Dude, you can't even form a complete sentence. This is sad. It's just sad after a certain point, you know? OP says, yeah, that's good. What do you mean by otherwise, no? And she says, if you don't provide, I'm out. And he says, that's fair. What exactly do you mean by provide? And she says, spend money. And OP says, well, don't get me wrong, but that sounds exactly like a hooker.
Would you like some aloe vera? You just got burned.
Is that what you are, madam? We're not supposed to shame you for it, but keep off the dating apps, if you would. Don't they have, like, Backpage.com? What is it nowadays? Just Facebook Marketplace, I guess. Hey, I'm selling some ass. Anyway, continuing on. Good burn, OP. I'm sure she real mad. This next OP says, dodged a bullet on this one. Went on 2 dates and told her I'd text her the next morning. Started a new job that morning and forgot, so I tried to own it. I mean, yeah, sort of. Objectively, you are less important than the job and the trajectory of my life, at least until I put a ring on it. And then we're really on the same teamsies. But OP, yeah, he made the right choice. Get the job. Whatever, I'm way in the weeds. OP opens it up and says, I'll text you tomorrow, which he didn't. And she says, yes, sir, and same here. I'm just finishing the Grunge, lol. Oof, I don't know what to say to you right now. December 27th, yeah, you had like this Christmas whirlwind romance going on, and then real life started knocking between Christmas and New Year's. But OP just says, I don't know what you mean. And then she replies to, I'll text you tomorrow, and asks, did you? And OP said, oh, I'm sorry. No excuses. I should have texted. I mean, I guess that's, yeah, he did own it. She says, so, shows me how little our connection means to you, and that's fine, but since I'm not worth a text, then fuck me, right? I could definitely see both sides here. But if you truly like each other and want to be in a long-term committed relationship, I think the first step is forgiveness. A large part of relationships is just forgiveness for a lot of petty bullshit that really doesn't matter. But yeah, she will hold on to this forever, just so you know. If you get over the speed bump, OP, she's still gonna hold it over your head 10 years from now. Trust me.
This is not your fault.
You're right. It's not my fault. It's your fault!
And yeah, that's the price we pay. OP says, I've been nonstop in meeting at the new company and didn't prioritize texting you, and that's on me. And she says, Lamal, because you didn't shower or pee and don't text during it. OP says, well, I just said no excuses and am taking full accountability. I mean, she kind of do got a point, though. It was a power play. You saw her name in there and you're like, I'm gonna let her simmer for a little bit. Nice girl then says, I think I'm the wrong person to talk to for you because I'm honest and hold people accountable. Listen, it's fine. Thanks for the flowers and the wine and the dinner. I'm not worth a text a day, so I know where I stand in your book, and that's okay. It just shows me where you stand, too. I mean, she's supposed to be the nice girl, but it's kind of a cool vibe, you know? You should hold people accountable for their actions. forgive and understand mistakes, but yeah, there's got to be some accountability. We have a little talk. OP says, I understand that you're hurt by not being prioritized and you're valid. It's fucking therapy speak. I do think we communicate our feelings differently and agree that we probably aren't a match based on that. And she says, lol, nah, boo-boo. I'm looking for someone who means what they say and says what they mean. Gosh, it is such a toss-up, you know? Like, you should be a man of your word, but I think a woman should also be willing to forgive. And I guess their 2 dates or whatever, yeah. It didn't mean that much to anybody. But I don't believe that she's not hurt, despite her in the next sentence saying, and I'm not hurt. Please understand that I'm disappointed in you and who you pretended to be. Damn. You talk mad game about protecting people, yet you can't even keep your word. And he says, understood. And she says, also, communicate differently. How do people communicate? With words. And you told me you weren't going to text me yesterday and didn't, so it shows me that you lied. It's a harsh world, GIF. Harsh reality. You aren't ready for something real. Wow, was it really getting that real after just 2 dates? I mean, I do sort of feel like OP gave her the brush off. Tried to make the power play. Nice girl did spin her wheels a little bit at the end there, but I don't know.
She says she not mad, but send 13 scrolls of rage. Gubbins call that emotional LARPing. Gubbins.
Yeah, but I can sort of understand where she's coming from. Although, yeah, forgive a mistake. Like, shit happens. Did you really like each other that much? Then you would have worked it out. You just didn't like each other that much. That's fine. We both found the way out. We didn't waste too much time. It was nice to know you for a little bit. And then we move on. It's well advised. This OP says, I think I dodged a bullet. If you dodged a bullet, you'd know. She says, hey, I'm sorry for ghosting you. Can we talk? I just want to reset this. Because honestly, I was like super emotional and burnt out with my dog dying, and I'm sorry. I just want a second chance. Her dog died. Now you have to forgive her. OP says, yeah, I appreciate the apology, but I don't think this would work. I really liked you, but if that's how you handle an argument, I'm not interested in seeing an actual fight over something bigger. I hope you're able to find somebody more compatible. That's real. That's a mature response. Honestly, the funny thing to do would be to, like, ghost her right back. Let her scream into the void. But I'm sure she will. Now it's just prompted. She says, it's unfortunate that you don't understand how grief affects someone. Hopefully you gain emotional maturity. I said I was sorry. It was so nice to you other than me having one bad day. It's sad that you can't see past that. But that says more about you than it does about me. Yeah, I guess dogs do die sometimes. Like, it's up to you if you want to forgive or not. Just like the last post. How much did you like each other? But really, if you liked her enough to let her in after completely ghosting you, I don't know. I don't think that's a healthy relationship balance. I'm proud of your boundaries, OP. Anyway, when one of your dogs dies, you'll understand. Dude. You better lock your dogs up at night. She's gonna throw hot dogs with nails inside over the fence.
Kevin, your dog just died.
Can we talk? I just want a second chance, please. Opie says, look, I know you've had a rough time since Marley passed. Oh, Marley. Opie says, that doesn't make it okay for you to treat me like you did. You were nice to me, I agree, but then you weren't. And then when I tried to defend myself and clarify why you were attacking me, you dumped me and blocked me everywhere. And then even now you're insulting me while asking for a second chance. How do you think that looks? Crazy. And let's say that I give you that chance. Eventually you're going to have another bad day, or I'll say something that pisses you off. Will you block me again? Insult me? Tell me to back the fuck off? None of that was okay, and I can only imagine how you would deal with it next time. I think telling me to back off is fine, but yeah, I will not accept insults, and I will not accept blanking. You got something to say? Let's sit down and talk like adults. You assume I don't understand grief, but I've dealt with my fair share, and on my worst day, I wouldn't talk to somebody that I cared about in the way that you did on Saturday. And if I did, that apology would be minutes later. Not days. Damn. High five, OP. I'm sorry that your dog died. That's really shitty. And nothing I say is going to help you with that pain. I just can't be the distraction that you seem to so desperately need right now. And she says, you can make whatever assumptions you want. Honestly, you barely know me. And Opie says, exactly. And you barely know me. The chemistry's over now. It was fun while it lasted, nice to know you. And then you just part ways. Sometimes you make a Reddit thread so we can all gawp at it. Actually, a lot of times. But I'm really appreciative that you do. Nice Girl says, I don't understand what high horse you're on to be able to tell the future and how I might behave, but good for you. Like, it's almost like when people show you who they are and you believe them. That's a crazy concept. It doesn't take Miss Cleo, okay? That's a really easy one to cold read. Well, I do know from the little I did get to know that you're not a perfect person. Oh no, guilty as charged. Honestly, so to not give me a second chance over being emotional is laughable, but whatever. Good luck. You're so high and mighty. Ah ha ha. I completely forgot. You're a perfect person. Blocking your number. You freaking loser. And Opie says, yeah, you're just kind of confirming everything that I said, so thanks for making it easy to say no to you. Goodbye. And the name starts with a K, which is always a bad omen. Honestly, I don't think OP was looking for a perfect person at all. He was just looking for somebody who wouldn't, disappear. There one day, gone the next. It's cute in a Julia Roberts movie, isn't it? No, it's not really. How about a Sarah Jessica Parker movie? No, it's even worse. Her face looks like a foot. Our next OP says, I feel like she's gonna ask me to sign an NDA next. Joe, what are you up to? OP says, nothing much. I just got home. Joe, if you want to hook up with me tonight, now is your chance. But we have to have a drink first, babe. And he says, lol, oh yeah? Did something happen? And she says, no, I'm just reading vibes. And he says, alright, I'm game. Pressure's on though. Don't fuck it up. And he says, lol, stop. Then she says, you know, if you tell anyone, then I'll tell Mel and Kelly everything. And Opie says, lol, what's everything? Every sordid detail. Opie says, where are you? She says, almost at Madison. And he said, should I meet you at your place? You live near there, no? And she says, you can't come to my apartment, lol. We're not dating, so it'll have to be yours. But drinks first, at Madison. Opie says, I'm down to do a drink at mine or yours, but I don't really want to go back out to the bars. So pressure's on. And she says, okay, well, then this isn't happening. And he sends a shrug emoji. Yeah. Who really gives a shit? Joe says, I will remain up for another 10 to 15 minutes. The choice is yours. And she says, Joe, you don't set the terms. I do. You failed said terms. We're good. This never happened. Yeah, I really wish it didn't. OP said he's scared of the NDA coming, and I don't know. Once her lawyer drafts it up, I think it is in the pipeline. She wants to be very secretive about all this. I mean, I would say just live an honest life, but I don't know, maybe being sneaky is part of it for her. Anyway, we'll keep it kicking along. This OP says, nice girl left out the fact that she has genital herpes until after we did it, and I found out myself, and I asked her about it. Bro... Fucking F in the chat. What? What?
No, I didn't get herpes. I just had a cold sore.
Ouch, man. Well, live and learn, I guess. You really gotta do your research. That's what I'll say. So presumably Opie asked her about it and she says, yep, I just in a really challenging position. I haven't had a traditional job or income in 10 years. It's not easy to change my lifestyle. I don't feel like you're thinking about my needs, to be honest. I think about yours all the time. God, dude. How are you going to try and flip this shit around on me? I have a virus that lives inside of me forever, and that's your fault.
Relax, it's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal? It's a disgusting, unsightly, unsavory disease, and it lasts for life!
Every time I get a blister on my ball sack or wherever, I'm gonna think of you. I hate you. I'm heartbroken for OP, honestly. It's like a terrible, very hard lesson to learn. OP just says, lol. Me not thinking about the person who lied to me about her HSV status. She says, I know, that was selfish. No takebacks. It is what it is, I guess. Ouch. It's crushing my soul. OP says, so I have to have herpes because you have it, and I should ignore my safety and the fact that you're dishonest and not reliable. See? This is the truthiest episode we've had in a while. That's really what is at the root of all of these problems. But this one in particular is the most egregious thing. Disgusting. Foul. Tragic, but also foul. I just don't got the words.
Even Osmosis Jones' pack full arsenal, but not even he strong enough to beat crotch plague if you lie to immune system. Surprise outbreak tragic, Gubbins.
It is tragic. Osmosis Jones can't save us. Ball blisters forever. For a night of what was probably quite mediocre, honestly. Like, there was an instant during that night where you made the decision to, like, go and get some Jimmy hats or not. And then, like, you threw the hot dog down the hallway and you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And now that part of your fears has found its way into reality. Oh, sucks ass, bro. Just don't you do the same thing she did to anybody, alright? I'm gonna have to come and find you. Knock on your door with a ReddX brand lead pipe. Anyway, on to the next post. This OP says, after opening with saying her greatest strength was kindness, then saying my flannel shirt was the ugliest outfit she'd ever seen, she hit me with this. I think bald guys should pay particular attention to style. That's just me, though. OP says, did you just match me to insult my fashion sense? Seems kind of unkind. Even bald guys have feelings, haha. I don't think you should get defensive about it. I should say, what tips do you have? At least if you're open to it. If you like flannel shirts and you ain't gonna change, then fuck that. But I don't know. I've been trying to upgrade my fashion game a little bit lately. It just feels really nice to dress nice, you know? But whatever, sometimes even your nicest dress, somebody doesn't vibe with it. You can't fucking please them all. That's okay. She's probably just trolling anyway. She got us all real good. Anyway, next post. Here's a nice girl screaming into the void without any response. She says, I never liked you, to be honest. I never had feelings for you, and 110% you are not my type. Not even close. Ha ha ha. Join the call and snap. Yo, what are you doing? Come here. You're scared, wuss. Hello. Answer. Hi. Do you miss me? Jesus.
What more do you want from me?
I'm well off this ride now. I will take great strides to never do that shit again. Anyway, moving on. This piece is right, guys. I could see where this is going, so I'm giving everyone a chance to guide me with my response. That's kind of fun, I guess. You know, it's already crash and burn, so why not do a Twitch Plays Pokemon with it? You guys craft my responses. It'll be neat. We just matched today and started talking. She said, travel to new places. And Opie said, oh, I really hope they turn up soon. That's fair. That's the same with me. I like to travel to new places and rarely go to the same place again. Although I went to Slovenia a few years ago and it was so lovely, I'd love to go back there again someday. What do you do for work? And she says, I'm private care worker and microblading master. But I don't think it should matter to man what woman does as work, as man is protector and provider in relationships. Opie just had his mind blown by talking to somebody from Slovenia who still believes heavily in traditional gender roles. When you say you went there, like how long did you spend? It wasn't long enough to absorb any of the local culture, was it? And Opie immediately goes on the defensive because he can tell he's not a provider, which I think is sad. If that's the case, don't get into a relationship, okay? But yeah, super defensive answer is, so if a man's job is protector and provider in a relationship, what's the woman's job in a relationship? And she says, keeping good harmony, nurture, look after healthy meal cooking, passion, intuition, inspiration, look after his reputation by respectful attitude toward him. Just traditional things, you know? Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying into all that. There was only one tangible thing that you said, and that was meal cooking. Are you ready to ruin your body with a child on my behalf? Are you really strapped in for the long haul? I don't think this one is, bro. She's trying to lure you in with sweet whisperings of fucking undeliverables. Yay, intuition and inspiration lives in my house now. Cop-out answer. Just trying to get some stuff for free. I'm not buying it. I'll defend traditional gender roles, you know. My wife's out here making the entire household run. I don't know if this woman is capable of making the bed in the morning, okay? Anyway, next post. Opie says, second date. She claims that I don't do it, and then asks for my credit card info. Nice girl? I don't think you can handle me. And Opie says, how you mean? You're just laying down watching TV. You're easy. She says, nah, babe. You gotta munch that fish wrinkle. And Opie says, what makes you think I'm not? I'm not that tired. On the second date, bro? See, this, and then people get herpes and they're like, I'm surprised. How are you surprised?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
It's an inevitability on like dating apps where basically everybody's just dipping into the same soup, you know? You live in that town, everybody dipped in the soup already. It's gross. She just says, Lamau, you just don't look like you would do that. And Opie says, what does that mean? Baby, when these glasses come off, it's about to get nasty. I don't know if you want to do this, dude. I understand in the moment you think you do, but you might have regrets. We saw that guy earlier. You don't think he has some regrets? Just keep your head on a swivel. That's all I'm saying.
Just don't put your in crazy.
Opie says, matter of fact, next date I'm going to wear contacts. Matter of fact, swimming goggles. I'm just playing. But really, what made you come to that conclusion? That I give off the doesn't go down vibes. She says, better wear swimming goggles, cause it's shook gon' get wet. Oh, that sounds delightful. Completely sanitary. Can't wait to swap fluids with you. Relative stranger. I don't know. I think I just have like a weirder outlook on these things than most people. Like, it's flirting and whatever, and do what you want to do, but I don't know, second date. Just couldn't be me, that's all I'm saying. Opie says, damn, you never been with a white guy? That must be what y'all think about white guys. And she says, Lamau, no. It just give, you don't eat, and you definitely don't bang. See, it's like a challenge of the masculinity right now. OP makes the wrong move, gets offended. Oh no, WTF? She says, Lamau, well, I'm just saying, send me a picture of your card. OP says, a picture of my card? She says, to get this. How about you fuck right off forever, okay? That's the worst thing ever. I'm sure she would only spend the $20 for sure. It's not gonna be a shopping rampage and she just blocks you. I bet some fucking dudes out there will do it too. Simps! Ugh! Makes me sick.
Imagine being such a f***ing simp. How pathetic are you?
I'm glad you didn't let it be you, OP. That's what I know. This could have turned out real tragic. I hope that was it. You just left her on red forever, right? I'm gonna assume so. Next post! I've known this one my entire life. Momsy. Uh-oh. Your mom's a nice girl, dude? Are you around? Why haven't I heard from you? Opie says, kinda. Weekend's been really busy. Haven't been on my phone much. And she says, I might need to take Sadie to the emergency vet tomorrow. Would you be able to help if needed? And I do not believe that you have not been on your phone. Lol, you're attached to that thing. At least when you're around me. Yeah, because you don't really have anything to talk about. Yes, you gave birth to me, but you haven't taken the time to build an actual connection. That's really sad. She says, don't worry about it. I'll find someone to help me if I need it. And Opie says, why would you ask? And then backpedal. Believe what you want. I haven't been on my phone much today other than to listen to Audible. I'm at Petco getting harnesses for the boys. And then Mom says, I need to take Sadie to the vet now. Can you drive us? Brian! Are you serious? My dog is dying and you won't answer your phone? And then Brian responds and says, are you fucking kidding me? I was driving from Petco, and now I'm in a busy restaurant ordering dinner. Don't guilt trip me. What the fuck? And she says, screw you. Damn, seems like OP really doesn't give a fuck about that dog. Would it bite you when you were little or something? And you're like, I get the last laugh. I'm gonna go order a Nacho Supreme. Eat it in the parking lot. I'll be there in 5 hours, Ma. You say thank you and shake my hand. It's a really terrible relationship you've got with your mother. I think that's super sad. But, you know, probably she's the one that started it. Babies are basically a blank slate, man. You fucked this one up a little bit. Now you want to make the connection too little too late. That's why I treat my kids like little people. I can tell you everything that they're into. Probably they'll go through teenager shit, and then it gets more difficult. But you'll remember the good times. You'll come back around. Dad read you a bedtime story. I have to wonder if Dad is in the picture with Momsy. Probably not. He would have drove her to the emergency vet. She kept the dog in the divorce. I'm just like making up all this backstory for them now. Sure, why not? If she racks up enough vet bills, then she can get paid more alimony. Whatever. We'll move on to the next post. This OP says, I woke up to this. Waking up is hard enough already. It's a dating user, and OP says, well, my band makes grunge music. We just make muss for fun. It's not really professional. I like how you shortened it to muss, bro. That's pretty sweet. She says, show me sometime. And he says, I got some videos, but I think it would be more fun to show you in person. Oh yeah, laying down the moves. She agrees and says, yeah, it would, for sure. It would. And then I guess OP goes to sleep and wakes up to, you're a fat, ugly piece of crap. You look like your freaking dad stepped on you as a baby. And you're broke. F off, loser. Go find some desperate lot lizard to bang. This person's dating profile is no longer available. Well, thank God for that. She dug through your profile and found something that she didn't like, and she didn't like it a lot. I can't fix it. Whatever. Okay. I'm sure it was the love of my life slipping through my fingers, wasn't it? The love of my life that doesn't realize that grunge music means I'm gonna be a little bit fucking grungy. You never dated a gutter punk before? Whatever. We'll keep it moving. This nice girl is particularly nosy. Opie says, I thought this went here. Yeah, it could. She says, you should know that I see you and your wife and 2 kids every Monday at swim class. And Opie sends a facepalm and says, well, if that's the impression, unfortunately we haven't been together in over a year. And she says, I'm not sure the duration makes much of a difference, considering either way you're in a relationship, you have a child together, and no one will be benefiting from you being on a dating app, especially not your son. When you think of the dream world for your son, is he growing up in a broken home, or is he with his mommy and daddy? And yeah, dream world. Sometimes shit doesn't work out like in the dreams, you know? Sometimes you find some things out about each other, or something happens that you just can't reconcile. and staying together for the kids? Jesus, that is the worst thing that you can do. Because then you're teaching your child to resent their partner all the time, just like mommy and daddy did. This is how I'm supposed to treat people in my family. Like, you really break up their fucking brain meat.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Please don't do whatever this maniac is suggesting, and hey maniac, can you mind your own fucking business for like 5 seconds? I'd really appreciate it. She's not going to. Whatever, I tried. This OP says, girlfriend loses her mind because I didn't get her food that she specifically told me not to get. You deserve better than this, dude. We ain't playing these little baby games no more, okay? She says, why would you be such a mean boyfriend to me? Like, you're so fucked up. We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep like Adele. Yeah, totally. It's just like that song that I heard on the radio. You have no personality at all, do you? Trust me, OP, you're not missing anything here. She's dramatic because her own life is completely bereft of interest or activity. But yeah, cool, hey, love Adele. But you were just a wussy little bitch. Little boy, go bang dudes, because you're totally gay. The way you be acting. She really wanted that Nacho Supreme. This ruined my whole night! And sometimes I will drive to the next town over in the middle of the night because my wife wants a certain type of french fries. But let me make you understand something. She's earned that shit. She has put her time in. You, like I hardly know you. And you told me not to bring the thing. And then you're surprised I didn't bring the thing. She says, I wish I never met you, and you made my life bad. And Opie says, wow. That hurts way more than I thought it would. And she says, I wish I never swiped right. You should go date a loser like yourself, like blank. You deserve someone who's fat like you. Just a low blow. You know she's just trying to hurt you, right? That's all she has to dig her claws in because you were a decent person to her. At some point she might be able to see it, although I don't know if it's within like a human time scale. We might have to loop her soul through a few more times. Anyway, next post. This OP says, I don't think the person, my girlfriend, who sent this to me is bad, but I do sense immaturity and not niceness. Am I reading it wrong? She says, I've decided that I should be nice to you again, not because your love for me is big or I like you that much, but because my love motto is to love with open hands. Already. What the fuck? Do dudes truly not believe that they deserve better than this? She's putting words, arguments into your head like, I hate everything that's happening here. She says, I'm bad at shutting off. Very bad at that. Plus, you're a grown-ass man with common sense, so you should know what's good and not. Therefore, I'll try to love you. I'll try to love you. Yeah, wedding vows that you can stick by, I guess. We did our best. The fuck you want? I'll try to love you probably at face value more than whatever's surrounding you because, well, it's nicer to be nice. What? Is this still your girlfriend? You need to get up and out, bro. This is not gonna turn out well. I don't think you're reading it wrong at all. This is the power play. She wants to sit upon the throne. And the crazy part is you're fucking letting her do it. Tell her to get up. You say, I sit on the throne and you sit on my lap. She's not going to respond well to that. She wants to feel like she's the one driving. And I hope that you find your spine relatively soon, OP. Don't put up with the shit, man. You're better than this, man. But you know what's even better than better? What's better than bad? It's good. It's my Patreon and my YouTube members. Thank you guys so much for supporting every month. We're almost due for a new members video. Oh, it's exciting. Check out the Gubbins pillow on the fourth wall if you want. Amazon affiliate link in the description if you like. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. And I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
何バカ何バカ何バカ何バカ